Greetings, everybody. I want to talk about COVID today. First, I'd like to start by welcoming the Mount Allison students who have already arrived in Sackville. Many of you are nearing the end of your self-isolation period on campus, which I know hasn't been easy. I also want to thank you for making the decision to come to Sackville to study and for taking your self-isolation period so seriously. We appreciate the commitment you've made for the health and safety of not only your fellow classmates, but for all of our community. We look forward to seeing you in and around the town at the end of this weekend. Over the last several days, I've been hearing more and more about the anxiety that COVID has created in our community. So today I want to highlight several initiatives that are already underway that reduce the risks COVID poses to us and hopefully help address some of the fears and concerns that I know are out there. As many of you know, the town's Civic Center has been turned into a joint Mount Allison-Sackville Welcome Center. So far, hundreds of students have passed through the center, getting campus, town, and COVID information. The university is providing green bracelets to those who complete the Welcome Center experience. Now, I want to address a misunderstanding about those bracelets. Green bracelets do not signify, nor were they intended to signify, completion of self-isolation or anything about an individual's health status. They signify only that the student has gone through the Welcome Center. The use is limited to the period between student arrival and the beginning of the fall term for those green bracelets. Resident students are also receiving color-coded bracelets that signify which residence the student is living in. Those bracelets also allow the students access to their residence and to the dining hall. Those bracelets will continue to be used during the academic year. Another important feature I want to talk about is the COVID-19 testing procedures that are now in place for students throughout this province. But first, I want to note that this testing only came about by our local efforts right here. Collaborative efforts by the students, the town, Mount A senior staff led to a province-wide change in its testing policy, one that was only announced and implemented very, very recently. So now the province has made testing mandatory for those students who have arrived from out of country and are now in self-isolation, and strongly recommends testing be available for any other students from outside the Atlantic bubble, who, by the way, are also required to self-isolate right now. That's important because the address of isolation is registered and monitored by public health, the RCMP, and in some cases by the private landlords. Now, testing for students self-isolating in residence, including all out-of-country students self-isolating off campus, has already been carried out on August 24th and 25th. Additional testing for students from outside the Atlantic bubble will be available on September 1 and 2 in our Civic Center. Both Mount Allison University and the Mount Allison Student Associations are strongly encouraging all students eligible to take advantage of this testing opportunity. It was this combination of complementary plans, practices, and securing the new testing procedures that created the system that caught a positive case early, ensured it remained low risk, and is now being guided by public health safety procedures as that person recovers in self-isolation. The Mount A Sackville Bubble Initiative, announced earlier this month, is a key part of the collaborative COVID-19 preparations around here. At the heart of this initiative is a personal commitment to the larger community. Called the Community Commitment, it is based on the belief that we are all in this together, and it asks students, faculty, staff, businesses, landlords, and every resident here to do their part to protect everyone that's in that bubble here. This is achieved simply by following the public health directives of physical distancing, gathering only in small groups, frequent hand washing, practice of wearing non-medical masks, and by staying vigilant and informed on all matters. For example, it is everyone's individual responsibility to wear a mask if you cannot maintain appropriate physical distancing. So I encourage everyone to take the community commitment, for businesses to display it, and for everyone to continue to follow the advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health. I trust that these procedures make you feel a little safer, that you each continue to contribute to all of our safety. But we must also be realistic and stay ready for any second wave of this virus. So on that front, please know that the province, the university with active support by the Student Association, and the town all continue to work diligently on refining plans and procedures for any such event. And we will be able to ensure our community, both on and off campus, and our entire province will stay as safe as possible if that second wave arrives. Now, with ongoing changes and the loss of the Sackville Tribune Post, getting facts and breaking news out has been challenging. To assist all this, all parties, including the town, have been putting out information in many ways. Our volunteer Tantramar COVID-19 task force has been wonderful, and they have consistently been providing factual information on various issues via diverse methods, from Facebook to mail drops. Now, the task force has heard concerns about the return of Mount Allison students during the pandemic, and have now arranged to host a virtual town hall meeting to communicate plans and address concerns and questions from residents and students alike. The town hall is going to be held this Monday, August 31st at 7 p.m. It will be held live on Zoom and broadcast live by CHMA, which is 106.9 FM. Residents and students of the Tantramar region are invited to register on Zoom or to listen in on the radio. If you wish to submit questions or concerns, this can be done in 3 different ways. First, submit a question when you register for the webinar. You have to register in order to attend the webinar. By emailing enquiry.tctf@gmail.com. Or thirdly, by leaving a message at 939-4186. And don't worry, in order to protect confidentiality, no one will be revealing the names of anyone submitting questions or concerns. So please get them in and register for this town hall event. You can also find more information on this at sackville.com or by calling 364-4930. Now, in closing, I want to remind everyone, students, citizens, and businesses, that this is the time for us to support each other. By working together, and only by working together and being vigilant and caring for each other, we get through this and keep each other safe. Now is the time for compassion, for good judgment, and for each of us to make a commitment and to do our commitments to keep each other and every one of us as safe as possible in this time. Thank you all.